Hello, everybody. Welcome to a history and a brief 4-episode synopsis of the genre known as hentai. For all you people out there, you probably know it as Happy Lotion Fun Time. So, we're going to get right into this, and I'm going to explain the origins of the word, where it comes from, and what it actually means. And we're going to see how America uses it for commercial use. And we're gonna jump right into.
Wait, what?
We're gonna jump right into it, and we're gonna enjoy it, and you're all gonna stop hounding me. Okay. Hentai, the English word is hentai, is a word of Japanese origin which is short for hentai suruku, a perverse sexual desire. The original meaning of hentai in Japanese language is a transformation or metamorphosis, a meaning of perversion or paraphilia. Was derived from there. Both meanings can be distinguished in the context easily. In Japanese, the term describes any type of perverse or bizarre sexual desire or act. It does not represent a genre of work. Internationally, hentai is a catch-em-all term. Catch-em-all term. To describe a genre of anime and manga pornography. English adapts and uses hentai as a genre of pornography by commercial sale and marketing of explicit works under this label. The words narrow Japanese language usage and broad international usage are often incompatible. Weather Report Girl is considered yuri, hentai in English, usage of its description of lesbian sex, but in Japan, it's just yuri. The definition clash also appears with the Japanese definition of yuri as lesbian relationship, as opposed to its sexually explicit definition in Japan in English usage. The history of the word hentai has its origins in science and psychology. By the middle of the Meiji era, the term appeared in publications to describe unusual abnormal traits, including paranormal abilities and psychological disorders. In translation of a German sexologist, Richard von Korff-Erbring, say that 5 times fast, text Sexuopatha sexuus, or whatever the fuck that's called, originated the concept of hentai suruku, has a perverse or abnormal sexual desire. Though it was popularized outside psychology, has the case of Mori Urgi 1909 novel, Sex Vitas. Oh, people are having sex with their Vitas now. That's great. Continuing.
Sex fajitas.
Sex fajitas. Continued interest in hentai, CQC, resulted in numerous journals and publications on sexual advice, which circulated in the public. Served to establish a sexual connotation of hentai as perverse. Any perverse or abnormal act would be hentai, such as committing shunji, love suicide, which it was Nomura Koyako's journal Abnormal Psychology, which stated the popular sexology boom in Japan, which would see the rise of other popular journals like Sexuality, Human Nature, Sex Research, and Sex. Sex is a journal?
Yeah, they fail to admit that people like tentacles so far.
Tanaka Kuji wrote articles for Abnormal Psychology. It would be Tanaka's own journal, Modern Sexuality, which would become one of the most popular sources of scholarly information about erotic and neurotic expression. Modern Sexuality was created to promote fetishism, S&M, and necrophilia as a facet of modern life.
Okay, I'm okay with everything but necrophilia.
The Iroguru movement, the depiction of perverse and abnormal and often erotic undertones, were a response to interest in hentai. Following the end of World War II, Japan took a new interest in sexualization and public sexuality. Mark McLaughlin puts forth the observation that the term hentai finds itself shortened to H, and that the English pronunciation was ichi, referring to lewdness, and which did not carry the stronger connotation of abnormal or perversion. By the 1950s, the hentai publications became their own genre. It included fetish and homosexual topics. By the 1960s, the homosexual content was dropped in favor of subjects like sadomasochism and stories of lesbianism targeted to male readers. The late 1960s brought a sexual revolution which expanded and solidified the normalization, the terms identified in Japan that continues to exist today. Though publications such as Bisuro Tsujami's Sex Hentai Sungu E series, which the usage of the word has any erotic depiction, the history of these depictions are split into its media. Japanese artwork and comics serve as the first example of hentai material, coming to represent the iconic style of the publication of Azuma Hideo's Saibo in 1979. Japanese anime had its first hentai in both definitions in 1984 release of Wonder Kid's Lolita anime, overlooking the erotic and sexual depictions in 1969's 1001 Arabian Nights. In the bare-breasted Cleopatra in 1970's Cleopatra film, erotic games, other area of contagion, has the iconic art style that depicted in the sexual acts of 1985's Tsuchichi no Gogo. I'm fucking butchering these names, forgive me. The history of the medium itself complicated based on broad definition and usage. Now here's where we get to the point where we're gonna call this part of this video Origin of Erotic Manga. Depictions of sex and abnormal sex can be traced back through the ages. You want to read this?
Nah, you do it. I'm just looking at that picture where that woman is getting...
Predating the term hentai, shunga, a Japanese term for erotic art, is thought to have existed in some form since Heian period, from the 16th to the 19th century. Shunga works were surpassed by shoguns. A well-known example is The Dream of the Fisherman's Wife, which depicts a woman being pleased by two octopi. Shunga production fell with the rise of pornographic photographs in the late 19th century. To define erotic manga, a definition for a manga is needed. While the Husakai manga uses the term manga in its title, it does not depict the storytelling aspect common in modern manga, as the images are unrelated. Osamu Tezuka, sometimes referred to as the god of manga, helped define the look and form of manga itself. His debut work, New Treasure Island, was released in 1947 as a comic through the Akira Publishing and sold 400,000 copies. Though its popularity of Tezuka's Astro Boy, Metropolis, and Jungle Emperor manga that would come to define the media. This story-driven manga style was distinctly unique from comic strips like Shizine, and story-driven works is now dominating shoujo and shonen magazines. Mature themes in manga have always existed since 1940s, but these descriptions were more realistic than the cartoon cute characters popularized by Tezuka. Well, early well-known Euroguri releases were Euro Mangatropia 1973 and Eurogada in Alice 1977. The distinct shift in style of Japanese pornography comics from realistic to cartoon cute characters is accredited to Azuma Hideo, the father of Lilycon, in 1979. He penned Saibo, which offered the first commentary on realistic depictions of sexual acts between Tezuka-style characters. This would start a pornographic manga movement. The Lilycon boom of the 1980s saw the rise of magazines such as Lemon People and Petite Apple Pie anthologies. The publications of materials in America can be traced back to at least 1990. The first anime, Shower Special, in 1994, was released to an English translation of The Insect Hunter. Well, that's it for this video. We'll get back to you with the origin of erotic anime. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and see ya.